Alright, before we get into this review of One Piece chapter 1094, I just want to say, alright, and I'm saying it now, the Garcia is Frankie level, bro. Frankie, that's Frankie's opponent. That's Frankie's opponent for the arc, lads, but we'll get into that later. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing. Here we go. But the chapter starts off with a beautiful color spread. Actually, I don't really talk about the color spreads that much, but I do want to talk about it this time. We get one of like the Shimotsuki lineage. Makes me think we might be hearing more about it because I don't know. Why would you do this now and not with the King fight? I feel like we're gonna hear more about it if we're getting something so good. And I think this is the first time we saw everyone in the official colors, right? Together. I'm pretty sure what was his name? Ushimaru hasn't had an official coloring outside of the anime in a while. Damn, Zoro looks so good in that though. It's actually like when Oda draws Zoro, he looks really good. Straight up. But the chapter basically starts out with Bonnie and Luffy, right? Bonnie's trying to get away from the Marines and Luffy is fighting Kizaru. I actually wanted to point something out though with Luffy's fight against Kizaru. I've noticed a hell of a lot. And I think this is an interesting way. We see Kizaru holding his own, but we also notice that he's running a lot. He's trying to get away. He's trying to do his job. So that way, Oda can keep it to a degree where we don't actually know what's going on, you know? Big man Luffy not getting the final kill. Do you know what I mean? I think that's interesting because we're finally getting to see a Yonko fight an Admiral, but the Yonko is still distracted. I think he's waiting to show us what a proper 1v1 where the Admiral's job is actually to take out the Yonko until Akainu comes in. And that makes me think he might fight Luffy. The Sabo fight and Akainu Dream is dead. Might be dead. I feel like it might be, but you know what? We'll take some wins. We get Luffy having new attacks and shit. Bro, what's that attack called he's using this time around? He's constantly using new attacks in this new form. What's it called this time? It is... No, not here anyway. White Star Gun. Like, we're getting loads of different attacks with Luffy. They're all different. Oda's trying so much to put Gear 5 into a different level in terms of attacks. He's just having a bit of fun with it. It looks like a regular pistol, but he's swinging it around and shit. They're doing loads of different things with it. I like that about Gear 5. I can't wait to see when Oda, the next time Oda gets Luffy into a big fight, and just to see how Luffy responds to everything. Do you know what I mean? Because he's fighting Kizaru now, and Kizaru's made a light. But when he can grab onto things and grab onto his opponents, I wonder what he's going to do. Because, with Kaido, that stuff was insane, and the anime made it even better. I haven't talked with the anime much yet. I'm waiting for it to end. I'm waiting for a particular chapter to come out before I talk about Wano as a whole in the anime. It's an interesting topic though, because obviously the manga was really good, but the ending just didn't feel climactic. Whereas I think the anime is really pulling that off, the climactic feel to Wano. And I think it's safe to say the Wano anime is better than the manga now, right? Unchallenged. I think that opinion it has to be unchallenged unless you're Morge. I see people slandering on Morge a lot, but the bro just doesn't want to talk about the anime, bro. Stop making him talk about the anime. Do you know what I mean? He just doesn't like it, bro. It is what it is. But man, also Momo, bro. Momo with his speech. Is the actor the same? That's what I really want to know. I'm assuming it's not. But if the actor is the same, the guy's range is insane, bro. Fair play to you. But yeah, back to the chapter at hand. And we see the Gorosei are finally taking action. That's the most important thing here. He's got a spider Logia. That's some weird stuff, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of strange to have him have a spider Logia. It looks hella cool, with the black flames around it. But it's weird to be a spider demon of the sorts, it just feels like Black Maria. Now, way better design than Black Maria, of course. But I don't know, I was expecting him to be a unique monster, I guess. But it also means my theory of him being, an element of emu is not true, and they are actually people because, well, it's in that sense, because it's like, okay, it can't be elements of emu because they actually have physical forms. They're just devil fruit. That's the thing. Oda's silhouettes get me real confused sometimes. I'm like, it could be a creature, it could be it gets me really scratching at the top of my head. You know what I mean? Oda has that effect on me a lot of the time. I do really enjoy his ability to make me theorize, but at the same time, I think now I'm just gonna understand that he's just hiding people. There's no special thing to it. I'm watching now. We're gonna have that sort of thing happen somehow. I wonder though. Out of all of them, I can't remember. Did Gandhi have a sword? Samurai Gandhi. Did he have a form? Because I could see him not wanting to have a devil fruit because he wants to fight with a sword. But then again, he's a Gorosei, so he might not really give a shit about that. And then obviously you have Emu. He might not want to, go against Emu. I don't know. But the new designs are really cool. The spiky style, the kind of all black look, it's nice. And I enjoy he looks massive. Like he towers over everyone. He feels like a real video game villain. Do you know what I mean? He towers over everyone. He has his I thought Vegapunk had met the Gorosei before, but the way they're talking, it's like it's the first time they've met in person. But then we have that cover story where they meet. Because he goes, Saint Saturn, I presume, in the flesh. I see you managed to cling on to life, Vegapunk. Right? Like, that stuff to me is a bit weird, because I thought we saw them interact at one point, but I guess not. Still, though, the fact we're getting to this point where we're fighting Gorosei members and we're having this stuff go on, it's absolutely insane. We're probably going to see the rest of them in coming chapters and different things like that. But man, it's crazy. Just, he's like, oh, I have to dust off now. Oh, finally, time. Haven't been on the surface in ages. Let's go. Goes Spider-Man mode. Goes, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Does whatever a spider can. I don't know why I'm no Russian accent. I don't know. I assume the Gorosei are Russian. Don't ask me. I don't know why. But still though, I think it's insane. We're getting this now, and he's really imposing, as I said, video game villain style over Frankie. That's what I'm saying. Frankie's gonna be his big opponent. Frankie's gonna awaken Conqueror's Hockey and just punch him in the face. I don't know now, because if we look at it here, right, who is he up against right now? We have Sanji, Bonnie, Vegapunk, and Frankie. Obviously, you've got Luffy there, but Luffy's fighting Kizaru, and I think if Jay Garcia doesn't want to fight Luffy, Kizaru's not gonna let him. Do you know what I mean? Kizaru's not gonna let him away. So I do think we might see I want a tag team fight. A part of me wants a tag team fight with a bunch of people fighting this one guy because he's a massive character. It would work out really well. And then you'd have a believable reason for Frankie to actually do something. Sanji to fight against a Gorosei. Bonnie to do something. Even Vegapunk. Having them all fight against them. Like multiple characters. I think that would be hella interesting. Because that's one of my favorite bits about the Wano arc was the Akusai 9 against Kaido. Because it was like multiple characters against this one guy. I even wanted it to happen with King versus Queen, where Zoro and Sanji would be constantly switching opponents and meeting out the other one's weaknesses and stuff like that. That's really what I wanted from that King and Queen fight, but it just didn't happen. I don't know. I think big, massive, multi-character fights are where it's at for One Piece now, rather than 1v1s, because you want to still have the crew have things to do, and I think multi-character fights are a way to have weaker characters like Frankie, Usopp, and Nami actually do something. Now, I don't know what they're going to do in the arc. I think Oda just wanted to give them something to do in Wano and is kind of going to have them be, the evacuation characters who gets everyone out of there now for the coming arc, I'd say. It's like Nami's getting all the citizens off. She's like, come on, out of here now. On the Sunny or on whatever Vegapunk has, right? I obviously have had this going around about Dragon popping up here, but I don't know. I'm really perplexed on what's gonna happen now, because we have to end up at Egghead, right? And I was looking at a few videos that are popping up in my feed these days. Everyone thinks the final war is gonna be the big final thing before they find the One Piece. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be spanning the entire final saga. And I think it's going to be like Marineford, where the Straw Hats don't get involved initially because they're still doing their adventure. Do you know what I mean? I do think Elbat's going to happen with the backdrop of the final war going on. I feel like that's going to happen because Egghead might be the catalyst that causes it, right? And Luffy might end up being that massive catalyst that causes the final war, but doesn't get involved in it until after Laugh Tale or after Lodestar or something of the sort. You know, and I think that could work out really well with Shanks or Dragon showing up and then them having to escape to Elbat and Dragon kind of, you know, freeing Kuma at last. I do think Kuma's going to become free at some point, but I just don't know how. Because I'm really confused with Kuma's character, right? Because obviously we saw in the previous chapter, which I unfortunately didn't have something to talk about, you know, going to college and stuff now, lads. You know, it is what it is. But you have to, with Kuma's character, it's paralleling this giant robot. And I do think the giant robot is going to kind of simulate what Kuma's job is. So we're going to see it through the giant robot. Like, it might be the attempt to take out the Gorosei, maybe that's something, or get the Gorosei away from Marijoa. Maybe that is it. What if that's it? Because if we think about Kuma's ability, it's to take people away. And if we assume Kuma has strong enough haki, maybe Kuma can infuse like his Devil Fruit ability with haki to kind of overpower the Gorosei. I don't know. I think it'd be a crazy idea, that, to be fair, to have that there where Kuma's main mission was to get the Gorosei away from Marijoa, and they kind of forced themselves in a way to do that by bringing one onto Egghead. So they started it in motion, and now Kuma's got to finish it. And maybe this second, and maybe it is powered. Maybe the second creature is powered by the drums of liberation. Bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. Oh man, I don't know. I love hearing the harp, like the way they played into it with the heartbeat of Luffy being the main theme of One Piece, the overtaken theme, and it's like bum 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 bum. It's so good, man. I love that stuff. Playing it back into the original theme is so great. I love that about the anime as well. But I really hope they use the giant well and, you know, build into Kuma's backstory, and then we have Kuma, because Kuma not informing Dragon of any of this makes no sense to me whatsoever. I realize in this chapter we find out that, you know, Bonnie doesn't hate Vegapunk anymore because Vegapunk was forced to do it because of the Five Elders, and she realizes the sway the Five Elders have, right? So I honestly believe that Dragon has to find this out, right? I'm telling you, everything's setting up for Dragon to show up. I keep talking about this every single episode, alright? Because it's so important, right? Not only now do we realize Saint Garcia himself is the reason Kuma doesn't have his memories, so Bonnie's all about killing him, you know? And it just makes sense. We have Kuma in Marijoa, we have the original giant robot. I just think with everything paralleling, it would make so much sense for Dragon to show up and be like, die, and just kill the guy somehow with his wind powers or something. How do we think Dragon fights? It'd be really cool if he fights like Garp in a way. I think that'd be really cool to parallel his fighting style with Garp. Or maybe slightly different. What if Dragon uses a sword? What if Dragon's like the Monkey D swordsman? Do you know what I mean? The greatest swordsman all along was Monkey D Dragon. Yeah, that's our way. I think that'd be really cool. Or if he just fights long distance. What if he's a mage type character? I don't know if that would be cool. I kind of want him to be a bit gritty. He kind of has to be gritty. You know, he's a revolutionary. I gotta change this world with my own two hands. You know, that sort of way. But yeah, I really don't know. I think that'd be fascinating to me, personally. I don't know though. How do you want Dragon to fight? Like, hand to hand feels so right from though, because obviously I want to change as I said, I want to change this world with my own two hands. Grab it by the balls, twist it, and do that. I don't know. Ayo. I think it would work out so well. But with rewatching the anime though, speaking of that, it's made me think of Momo's future role in the story. Because obviously Momo has a role in some way. Maybe during the final war, he'll open up the borders to Wano. And then that's how we get, like, that's how we get whatever, Pluton coming to save the day. That could definitely happen here now, because obviously it's the great Momonosuke, ruler shogun of Wano, so he has to get that title somehow. He comes riding in on Pluton. Imagine Momo's reappearance as he comes riding in on Pluton. That would be insane. But again, back to the chapter at hand. The final panel of the chapter, right, is Bonnie attacking Saint Garcia. And I think this is interesting, because I feel like this is Oda's way of saying everyone's been underestimating Bonnie because they say she's a child, because obviously when Kuma's experiments were going on, she probably was, and they're underestimating her, and it's time for them to take her seriously, because you mess with her dad and she's gonna mess you up, right? And I think I want Bonnie to be an actual contender, because a lot of these Apu, Hawkins, even Kid, they're not real combat contenders, right? They're kind of just shit. And we've seen Bonnie rely on her Devil Fruit a hell of a lot, but I'd love to see her actually use her abilities and use some hockey and show some ability to fight the Gorosei. And I think the way for her to do this without looking like, oh, this is a load of crap, Oda, what are you doing, is for it to be a group fight. This is why I'm saying the group fights work so damn well. Do you know what I mean? I think it sets up really well so everyone can have a turn. You can have people getting knocked out and other people coming in. Like, what if Frankie gets hurled across to the Sunny, right? He gets hurled across to the Sunny, and then you have Robin coming in doing a bit of damage, because obviously she wants to see the Gorosei, and you go, Robin, oh, child, or devil child, I should take you out now. And then he goes to attack her, and he's distracted, and Sanji goes, no, Robin Schwan, and fucking whacks him over the head. You know what I mean? That's the exact way to do it. This is why I'm saying fighting Jay Garcia with multiple fighters is the way to go. And then have Luffy come in at the end, possibly get his shit rocked, and then Dragon comes in, saves the day, goes, oh, the Gorosei, how I've longed to get rid of you. And then his theme plays for the first time, and it's like, I don't know, what would it be? I can just think of this all the time. Dun, dun, dun. I can't think of a proper theme. Let me think. What theme would Dragon have? He'd probably have like a real ominous theme, like a real powerful theme, like something from Lord of the Rings or something. I don't know. A mix of Whitebeard and Kaido's theme, the two most powerful creatures in the world, and then a mix of the two themes work on the actual strongest person in the world, Monkey D. Dragon, and he pops around and he's like, and that theme, Oh, it'd be so good. That's what I want. That's what I want in the coming chapter. So that is what I need. That is what I want. That is what I need. Ayo.